Hi everyone, my name is Janet Garcia, and this is my project on inclusive play and early childhood education. This is the introduction and policy overview. The policy of inclusive play in early childhood education ensures that all children, regardless of ability, background, or developmental level, have meaningful opportunities to participate and engage and play together. Grounded in principles from early childhood education and supported by laws like the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, this approach emphasizes access, active participation, individualized support, and social inclusion. Rather than simply placing children in the same space, inclusive play focuses on adapting environments, materials, and teaching strategies so every child can fully engage and build relationships with peers. The reason I chose this was because, as an early intervention specialist, choosing this policy aligns with my position with best practices of teaching in natural environments. It promotes stronger developmental outcomes through peer interaction. It supports legal requirements for inclusion and fosters a sense of belonging for both children and their families. The research in inclusive play and early childhood education has evolved over time from separating children with disabilities to promoting inclusion, equal rights, and meaningful participation. Organizations like the National Association for the Education of Young Children emphasize that inclusion is not just about sharing a space, but belonging, appropriate support, and active engagement. Today, educators are expected to adapt environments, materials, and promote positive interactions so all children can participate and play. Research shows these practices strengthen social skills, peer relationships, and confidence, though challenges like limited training and resources impact implementation. To continue advancing this policy, I would focus on supporting teachers with practical training, creating more opportunities for peer interaction during play, and encouraging strong partnerships with families. Inclusive play has shifted from simple access to a more intentional focus on connection and participation for every child. This is the history timeline. In the early 1900s, children with disabilities were often excluded or placed in separate settings, limiting inclusive play. In 1975, Education for All Handicapped Children Act guaranteed access to education and introduced learning alongside peers. In 1990, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act strengthened inclusion through early intervention and participation in everyday activities like play. From the 2000s to the present, National Association for the Education of Young Children promotes inclusive play focused on access, participation, and support for all children. What needs to change? Stronger implementation and accountability, more teacher training, increased funding and resources, and intentional planning for inclusion. This is my advocacy plan and the targeted audience. My advocacy plan is, well, I already created and distributed a pamphlet slash flyer, um, encourage teachers to attend trainings on inclusive practices, and the NAEYC recommendations in classroom settings, looking over those, helping advocate for families. The target audience would be families, educators, and community members. And this is my call to action, which is the pamphlet slash flyer that I created on inclusive play in early childhood education. I included why does it matter, what inclusive play looks like, what is inclusive play. This is the other part of the pamphlet, which has how can you support inclusive play for educators, for families, for communities. It also has a little section on how to get involved and make a difference today. And it has the call to action, whether you're a parent, caregiver, teacher, or a community member. We always have to remember that our actions matter. And that is all. Thank you all.